our time. And we have a 4-day school week here in Cartwright, and we are just having conversations on around how to use our time effectively to support your students. And we are having conversations around what we can do with that time on Fridays. And I want to be clear as we get started. Um, we have made no decisions. That's why we're here tonight. We want your feedback. We want to know your experience. We want to know, I know that we have some parents here who had kids when Cartwright was at 5 days. We have some parents who maybe you've got your child in Cartwright for the first time, but we'd love to hear from you about your experiences. And like I said, we've made no decision. That's what tonight is about. We're having community conversations. Last night we heard from teachers and staff, faculty. Um, like I said, when I go to a cafecito, I'm frequently talking about this at PAC meetings. I'm just everywhere I go, I ask people. Since the very first day I got here in Cartwright, I've been just asking people about how we're using our time and are we satisfied with that? And so to just give you a little bit of an idea of what we're going to do tonight is we want to hear from you. What do you hope to do? And let me just give a couple of examples of things that we've been talking about. And like I said, just no decision has been made, but we're just trying to find out, like, first of all, are we happy with 4 days? Number two is if we're not and we want our kids to spend more time in school, what would that look like? Would that look like coming to school for a full day on Friday, a half day on Friday? Would it look like having just some very special targeted instruction on Fridays? Like I said, we're just having the conversations to hear from you and to find out what your perspectives are. And I'm happy to just kind of answer some questions if you have any, but I don't have a lot of answers because no decisions have been made. And so we would love to hear from you. We have a microphone set up. You can face us, you can face the audience, however you're comfortable sharing. We would just like to hear from you and about your experiences. And we would like you to keep it roughly to 3 minutes, just so everybody has an opportunity to speak. And Dee Dee, can we make you the official timer? Is that okay?
Yes.
What's that?
Oh, great.
All right, so like I said, that's just to be respectful of everybody's time, so everybody has a chance to share who wants to share. Victor, are these QR codes active right now?
Yes.
And if you don't want to come to the microphone and you want to share your experience or any ideas that you might have, we have these QR codes, and you're able to scan one of those codes in, and on your device, just share your thoughts. Share what you would like to see. And you can do that in English and Spanish, in any way you feel comfortable. Does anybody have any just questions right now for me that maybe I could answer?
I have a brief one. Why are we having this discussion, and why are we considering changing the school week now?
Well, we're not considering changing it for this year. We're considering changing it for next year. And I would say that we are just looking at where we want our kids to be academically, and we're having the conversation on should we have more time in the classroom or more opportunities for kids to learn.
All right, so thank you for that. So I got another one. If Holiday Park became an A school, doesn't this prove that a 4-day school week is not an issue?
So I would say no. And I wouldn't say that. So first of all, we're here to listen. A decision hasn't been made. And I hope to share at an upcoming board meeting a little bit about what it takes to be an A school. And there's a couple of different ways to become an A school, and Holiday Park has done a good job. And we are always looking at opportunities to just serve our kids and our families in better ways. And there is more to think about than maybe just a letter grade. So, for example, when kids come to school, we feed kids. We provide a safe location for them to come and learn. We have opportunities for. So, for example, right now, we have at a few of our schools, we're doing an experiment on Fridays where we have some federal dollars, and we've invited English language learners to come on Fridays. And right now, at some of our schools, we are actually providing targeted instruction for those kids. We have somewhere between 80 and 100 kids coming right now and getting some of that additional instruction. And so that's what this conversation's about. Just what can we do to support our kids in our community? And sometimes that's academically, and sometimes that's with other services we might provide. So great questions. I think I saw a hand over here. Yeah.
So my kids started
We
like.
have a microphone?
I don't want to stand.
I will hand you this microphone.
Sorry. Thank you. My kids started with Cartwright about 3 years ago. They did homeschool 5 days a week, and now they're at Cartwright, and it really works for them. Me working from home, it works. The thing that I know you said you don't have answers, but if you guys do go to a 5 day, is it going to be in 5 day like when we were in school where it was you went all day, or is it going to be 4 days and then half a day here, and then it's 4 days and then it's half day every day, one day of the week? Because that is, in my opinion, more of an interruption than having them off on that extra day.
And that's exactly what we want to hear. We want to hear about your situation. And my answer is I don't know, because we're collecting feedback. And if you don't know, I have 6 of my own children. I have an 11-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 17-year-old, twin 20-year-olds, and a 23-year-old. And I do know from personal experience that, yeah, sometimes regular half days are sometimes more difficult than just having a full day for kids. Some of our decision making has to do with money, and so I know that complicates things. But so number one is I don't know, but that's exactly the kind of feedback we want to hear. Absolutely.
I got another one, Mr. Watson. Go ahead.
Yeah.
One of my things that I wanted to bring up one of the things that I wanted to bring up is with them having Friday off, it's easier to make their doctor's appointments, their dentist appointments. I'm not pulling them out of school, rushing them back to return them, then going back to what I'm doing. It's a lot easier and they miss less school. I have a 17-year-old, which is a senior this year. She's been in Cartwright since kindergarten. I have a 6th grader and also a new kindergartner. This is her first year. So her knowing that she goes for 4 days instead of 5, she enjoys going. She looks forward, oh, I only go 4 days and then I get to be home 3 days with mommy. And it's just, I think mentally, it's easier on a kid because they have those 3 days at home. And then when they go to school, they're ready to learn. So I like it.
That's exactly what we want to hear your experiences, and that's why we're here, for all of us to be able to share our perspectives. So thank you for that. And you can come up to the microphone. I can just do a Phil. Am I dating myself if I say Phil Donahue? I can do a Phil Donahue or a Carrie Lake. I don't know who the modern day ones are. And just bring a mic around if you're not comfortable standing at the mic.
I'll stand up. So you touched the subject money, right? So if we're trying to save money, how much more will it cost to operate our school 5 days versus 4 days, right? So
And I learned this from last night, that I don't want to answer too many questions because my answer is usually I don't know. So it would be depending on what the final decision is, what the final decision becomes, is what we would have to try to finance to. And like I said, finance is always, money is always a challenge, especially here in Arizona. We wish we had, you know, we're bottom, I'm trying to say this in a positive way. We could use more money for education here in Arizona, when compared to basically every other state in the union. All right. Any additional comments? Marco, you want to?
Yes, I have a couple things I want to say. I'm not new to the Cartwright district. I actually grew up in the Cartwright district myself. We've had when my son was younger, he's now in college, but we have tried the 5 days before. They had the 5 days where they had a half day, and we were at a C. At a C, it was a C grade school, so I didn't see anything better when there was a 5 day a school day, and so that's kind of concerning. The other thing is, I still keep in touch with a lot of the teachers that have retired or have moved away to other districts from Cartwright, and a lot of the things that I've heard from them is they've left because they found better opportunities elsewhere. And a lot of the qualified teachers, they have to drive from Chandler or they drive from other places. And I'm wondering if this would affect us. Maybe they would, maybe this wouldn't be beneficial for them and they would go somewhere else. And then we wouldn't have the qualified teachers that we have now. Also, there are working parents that might not be able to make that change, or maybe if they have a half day, they might not be able to pick up their kids. And I agree with the moms too. I make all my appointments on Fridays as well. My kids have multiple appointments. And I think we have to look into that. I know a lot of the concerns are some of the kids are maybe at a lower reading grade level. And back then, what seemed to work is they work with the Phoenix Public Library. We had days where kids would come in and they would bring books and they could trade books. I think it was like once a month that they had tables outside and kids would bring books that they were no longer reading, and there would be like a trade-off kind of thing. And there was like events like the STEAM Wing, but it was like towards reading, stuff like that. There was other type of incentives that worked. The other thing, my son, after he went to high school, he went to a different school. They had 4 days, and once a month they would have like the 5 days, and it was only for the kids that were falling behind. And they would alternate teachers so that none of them would feel that pressure. So I don't know if that's something that would be possible. Also, the teachers in our district don't get paid well enough. I see a lot of administrators, a lot of teachers taking on a lot more work than they should. And that's a concern right now, because is this going to add, to them? They have to grade papers. They have to do multiple stuff already. We're already running low on staff as it is. I don't know if that would be something that might change if this happened, or would they still be getting the same pay? Things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Liz Ricario. I'm a parent at Starlight Park. And my son and I, we drive about 20, 25 minutes every single day to drive to Cartwright. I was raised in Maryville, and so it is a very important place to me. But if we do definitely go into the 5 day week, which we are very against, my son wouldn't be able to come over here. And so my thing is, yes, we will definitely lose a lot of teachers, but we will also lose a lot of good kids. And so if the concern is money, that those seats that are going to be empty, that's also money. And so just wanted to bring that up, and also want to know what is going to be cut, right? Because if money is going to a Friday, what will be cut from that? So yeah, I don't know if you're able to answer that.
Yeah, so just first of all, thank you for choosing Starlight Park. We appreciate you coming and choosing Cartwright. And once again, I don't, because we're still just having these conversations, I don't have a specific number about budgets or what would or wouldn't be cut. I'll be honest with you, we've had some conversations, and I wouldn't anticipate like cuts, like whatever that word means. Like we wouldn't lose, we wouldn't have fewer teachers from a salary perspective. So yeah. But I can't, like I said, because we don't know what anything looks like. We don't know if we're going to be at 4 or 5 or some version in between. And we're just collecting information and hearing from you. So thank you.
So I'm a parent and also a staff member over at Frank Borman Elementary. My daughter is on an IEP and she is one that needs extra services and help. You want to go to 5 days, but it stresses them out. It causes more. She does therapies on Fridays. That means her missing work and me missing work. That's double hit for Cartwright. Not on top of that, we've taken away summer school. We don't offer that gap no more. What are we offering them on Fridays? Tutoring. It's only for our younger ones, not for our older ones. Now she's in 6th grade and so she can't read. It's really hard. She struggles. And I grew up in Cartwright. I love Cartwright. When the pandemic happened, Cartwright was the only school. I worked at a childcare, was the only school prepared for online learning and ready with staff members to help and provide and have services. Now, a lot of those are cut out. So what are we doing on our 5 days? Because are we adding extra teachers to help? Because 35 kids in a class is not okay. Our kids can't learn with 35 kids in a class with one teacher. A lot of times I hear kids, when I ask how their date's going, it's, I don't know, it's hard, miss. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Did you ask a teacher? And it's, well, they were busy with another student. So how are we aiding them? How is an extra day helping?
Hola, mi nombre es Gladys y represento a la escuela Starlight Park y Estrella Middle School. Y mi punto de vista personal en mi familia, me he estado por muchos años en el distrito, antes que era 5 días y ahora 4. Y ahorita a mis hijos les ha ayudado en general por los maestros, ¿verdad? Pero a mí me ha resultado más práctico ahorita se enfocan 4 días en lo académico y el 5.º día lo dejo para hacer las citas y hacer cosas con ellos, ¿verdad? Y también con el punto de vista de, porque soy mamá de una maestra, y ella le gustaría más eso, porque ella vive lejos. Entonces yo veo que ella se enfoca más a los 4 días, que sería más difícil para ella. Aparte, perderemos más maestros calificados. Gracias.
Gotcha. I got you right here.
Okay, first I'm going to explain in Spanish and then turn into English. I deserve more time, please. Bueno, mi nombre es María Gutiérrez, soy una maestra retirada. Trabajé en el distrito de Roosevelt por 23 años. Y básicamente atendí a niños que estaban aprendiendo el inglés. Niños que venían de todas partes del mundo. Tenía muchos latinos, por supuesto. Bueno, este año tuve la oportunidad de ser maestra voluntaria en una de las escuelas de Cartwright. Y me dio mucha tristeza ver cómo niños inteligentísimos, porque yo notaba que tenían el aprendizaje en su primer idioma, pero que estaban batallando para transferir ese conocimiento al segundo idioma. Yo siempre he dicho que los niños que hablan 2 idiomas son más inteligentes que los que hablan 1. Siempre, y estoy convencida. Había niños que llegaban a mi salón que no sabían ni los números. Yo a veces tenía conversación con ellos y les decía, ¿qué haces en el salón? Niños de 6º año que nomás les aventaban los trabajos, hojas, y que no les explicaban ni vocabulario, porque el aprender un segundo idioma implica vocabulario, implica sintaxis, implica realia, lo que se llama realia, o sea, cosas reales de este mundo para que ellos entiendan, implica mucha repetición, implica muchos procesos. Y yo decía, pues, ¿qué están haciendo? Yo no quiero criticar a mis colegas, pero sí lo que veo en el distrito es una falta de estructura. Si yo en tantos años llegaba mayo y yo decía, necesito más tiempo, y yo siempre trabajé 5 días y me fijaba en mis alumnos, Dios mío, necesito más tiempo para enseñarles todavía más. La escuela donde yo trabajé como voluntaria, este año sacó el primer lugar en los exámenes a CELA y me da mucho gusto. Yo quiero regresar otra vez en enero a enseñar porque acabo de tener mi primera nieta y tengo que viajar hasta Wisconsin y regresar para atender a mi nieta. Como yo veo las cosas, es que ustedes necesitan una superestructura en el distrito. No importa que los que trabajen 4 o 5 días a la semana, eso no importa. Lo que importa es que los maestros estén siendo checados para ver que en realidad estén haciendo su trabajo. Analizar la data o data, como se dice, analizarla. Y no importa que un niño suba un nivel al final del año o 2 niveles en comprensión de lectura. Los niños son primero. Siempre los niños deben de ser primero. Independientemente del director, de las coaches, debe de haber profesionales que amen su trabajo. Y muchas veces eso no se ve en el aula. Debe haber profesionales que quieran a los niños. El futuro de este país radica en los inmigrantes. Lo queramos ver o no, radica en los inmigrantes en su educación. Tengo 3 hijos, los 3 graduados, los 3 tomaron las bases de Cartwright. Tengo un doctor que es gastroenterólogo, tengo una enfermera y tengo una bióloga. Y yo amo Cartwright, por eso es que regresé a las aulas gratis. Yo no cobré ni un 5 y volvería a hacerlo, porque creo en el futuro de los niños hispanos. Entonces, ustedes tienen que ponerse a analizar, escoger bien sus profesionales, revisar. Y a mí me revisaban hasta la superintendente de mi distrito llegaba, a mí no me importaba, porque yo no me sentaba en el escritorio. Yo estaba con los niños ayudándoles toda la vida. Yo salía a oscuras en invierno y regresaba a oscuras a mi casa, ¿sí? Y trabajaba todo el día y así trabajé por más de 20 años. Es profesionalismo lo que tenemos que tener en los salones. Y las maestras que realmente aman su trabajo, ¿por qué van a temer que se les revise? Deben de haber, es lo que yo veo en las fallas, atender más los problemas de conducta de los niños, porque eso es, digamos, es un problema que se ve ahora en las aulas. Por eso es que muchos padres deciden sacar a los niños y dicen, no, yo ya no quiero que mi hijo aprenda en la escuela porque no lo atendieron bien, pero va a perder su socialización. O sea, un niño no va a estar independiente toda su vida. Vivimos rodeados de seres humanos y así funcionamos, con seres humanos, como seres humanos, ¿ok? So, I am a volunteer teacher at Spitalny, and I am a retired teacher for 23, 24 years. And what I was telling him is that it doesn't matter if the district decide to change into 4 days or 5 days, they need a superstructure. They need professionals in the district that are able to check the teachers and how are they doing their work, is what the district needs. This year I taught as a volunteer at the Spitalny for 5 months, and I noticed how smart, not only Hispanic population, but everybody that arrive here to this country and have the opportunity to be educated in public schools, they are very smart. We are sometimes losing those kind of students because we are not attending them properly, and they need extra support. working 4 days or 5 days, it doesn't matter. What the most important is that the teachers have coaches that can help them. For me, and I work all the time, 5 days a week. During the fall, I left home early in the morning. It was dark, and I returned at night too, because I was very responsible in my profession. So what you need is more support for teacher. I'm not talking about bad about my colleagues. I'm not criticizing, but there are too many deficiencies that needs to be repaired. Is my personal opinion.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening.
We're gonna go to.
I just want to continue to add to just like the other parents, positive feedback regarding the 4-day week. My child she experienced a 5-day week, and then going into the 4-day week it's really good. She's been able to do her other hobbies, like other parents said, appointments, and not once have I heard her say like, I don't want to go to school, because she gets well rest. And so on top of that, I really do want to thank Cartwright for even considering, because I think it's important that we also grow with the times, right? Times are changing, and having a 4-day week, I think it's the best decision that they have done. So that being said, it sounds like the parents have had a good experience. So let's say, I don't know if there's like maybe like a 5% in there, which is fine, but it sounds like majority of the parents have had a good experience. How is that gonna help you make a decision? So if the majority of the parents say like, yes, we want to keep the 4-day school week, how is it gonna make a big difference, or
So,
on your
yeah, the great question. And before I hand the microphone off, we have 12,000 students in Cartwright Elementary School District. And so your input matters tonight, without a doubt. And we are trying to have conversations with everybody that we can. And so just recognize that you are here, we're listening to you. We're going to take this feedback and give it to the governing board and the executive team as we talk. But Cartwright is much more than just in this room, and we're paying attention to what our employees are saying, and so we are listening to everybody. But yes, the feedback absolutely matters.
Oh, excuse me, I don't want the microphone.
Oh.
I wanted to ask you, what is the whole crux of the matter here? Why is it you're wanting 4 days in California? I came in late because of the traffic.
Yeah, I don't think we've decided that we want 5 days or 4 days. I think we are having conversations on best how to use our time, and we're collecting feedback from the community. You got.
Thank you. I want to start with a question. Where did this idea of 5 days come from? Did it come from just parent feedback? Did it come from admin feedback? Did it come from the governing board? Just kind of curious, where did it kind of derive from?
I think all of the above. I think when you look at, so for example, we're always trying to compare ourselves to other schools throughout the state of Arizona. And we are one of just a couple of school districts in the entire state that has a 4-day schedule. And so we're just looking at how to best use our time. And we've talked about it at Cafecitos. We've had some conversations in PAC a little bit about it. And so these have just been questions that we're asking, and we're always looking at, going back to this idea of providing instructional support to our teachers. We're just always looking at the data and the science of learning. And one of the things that a lot of people are talking about in society right now is equity and equity of time. And are we giving our students the right amount of time? So these are national conversations that have absolutely impacted the conversation we're having here in Cartwright. Yeah.
So just kind of wanted to start with the question. My name is Victor, and I feel like I have 3 jobs. My unofficial job is I do security for Cartwright because I live in Cartwright. I love Cartwright. I was raised in Cartwright, and I want to grow old in Cartwright. So every time I'm driving these streets in the community, I come across one of the many schools here in the district, and I'm always keeping an eye out, making sure there's no criminal activity or going on. So that's my unofficial job. My real job is I'm a 7th grade social studies teacher in one of our schools. But my third job and the most important job that I have, and I think all of us could probably agree, is I'm a parent. My son attends Borman, and he's an amazing child. And just kind of, I'm gonna make a comparison. Sometimes when people are driving a car, there's a funny sound in the engine, something that doesn't sound right, and people will turn up the music and ignore the problem. What we're doing right now, we're not turning up the music. We are actually listening to the problem. And the problem is that the quality of the education that our students are receiving, we're concerned about it. And I love that we're kind of bringing up this idea of like, should we move to 5 days? But um just because we're adding another day, and we can't think, oh, that's going to be the solution. This, moving to 5 days is going to make everything better. That's fantasy. Reality is, if you guys do your research, at governing board is here, you do research, and I'm not talking Wikipedia, Reddit, or anything. I'm talking do the research and using scholarly resources from doctors, professors from the all over the colleges all over the world. And if you research the question, what are the issues that kind of hurt the level of education a student receives? It boils down to pretty much 2 things. Number one, family, and number 2, economic factors. So, my concern is, when it comes to school, it boils down to, how are we using this money? Because yeah, moving to a 5 day, it's gonna, we're gonna have to get that money from somewhere. We are already losing amazing teachers, staff every single year. Arizona is in a shortage right now. And even if there wasn't a shortage, who are the ones filling these positions? Are they the best qualified? And I don't know about you guys, but I love my community, and I want my community, my schools here in Cartwright and Maryville, to have the best teachers out there. So I think we got to start looking at other factors, because there's really no data that shows moving to a 5 days will improve the quality of education for our students. Usually things like family involvement, or kind of like supporting after school programs, or keeping our educational staff. That's what it takes. And right now, Cartwright, we're kind of getting rid of those things. 2 years ago, you guys were promoting on social media, every student will have a free trip. Where are those trips at right now? Because students actually need things like those to enhance their learning. And we got to start looking at how we're using our money, rather than just saying, oh, if we move to 5 days, things are magically going to get better.
And I guess I would just add to that, that we are 100% focused on trying to improve instruction for our kids. And so I just want to make sure that is, our job here in Cartwright is to help your kids learn how to read, write, do math at a high level, so that they can go to college, get a job, start a business, whatever they want to do with that. And so absolutely agree with you that changing the amount of time a kid is in the classroom, it will not be as effective unless we improve the instruction that we're providing. So I just want to 100% agree with you. You're over there, Marco?
Hello? Okay, I was here last night. I'm not going to give the same speech, so I won't bore you with that, but I am an employee. My name is Mr. Rogers. I'm a teacher, counselor, therapist. My daughter right here, she goes to Heather Bray. I have been a member of the Cartwright family for 9 years. Just a couple things. Someone asked like, what input have you gotten? And you said you kind of everybody from the community. I don't know if you kind of the groans and the dissatisfaction from the community, feeling like that their voices and their input was not heard with this decision. But I'm curious if anybody has done any research on schools that have successful 4-day models, like the Independent School District in Missouri that has 14,000 students and that has reported an increase in academic performance. So are we looking at successful models that already exist instead of trying to go back to the old way of things, which obviously hasn't worked for Arizona?
So I guess the only thing I would say to that is we are collecting input now. I don't know how many times I can say this. We're collecting input now so that we can make a wise decision moving forward. So a decision has not been made, and this is why we're here tonight.
When will you make that decision? You said next year, not this year, finishing the school year, but when will that?
So we are going to have the conversations at a public meeting beginning in January and again, or beginning in December and again in January. So those will be public conversations that are had in a public board meeting.
So can the parents vote? Are the parents going to be involved in the voting?
We are soliciting. I'm not sure that I'm not sure that there's going to be like a traditional vote, but we absolutely are going to continue to get your feedback. If you're coming in late, you feel free to scan a QR code and give your feedback. That's a way for you to reach out. All right.
Okay, so I actually sat down to get some of the numbers, and in around 2019, so this is pre-COVID, schools going 5 days, they were a D school. You pull the numbers recently, they're B. Their numbers are moving up, so it doesn't make sense to step in and fix something that's not broken. Also, I have a quick question. Has anyone got numbers as far as asking the children? These children are stressed. You can already see that they're maxed out. So not only is their mental health, we don't need to add to that. So has anyone ever once did a survey, did a question regarding the children?
We have not done an official survey of the students.
Right.
I will say I'm in a lot of classrooms. I think Dr. Ruiz could speak to this as well. We're talking to kids and getting their feedback. And I would actually say that their feedback has been very mature, and some of them see the value, have seen it. Hey, I see a value in 4-day, and some have said, I see a value in 4-day. And we've actually had some very just respectful conversations with groups of our students. Respectful conversations with groups of our students. No, the kids have been great. Kids have been great.
Hi, I'm a parent of a 6th grader at Starlight Park, and you had mentioned that feedback and input was important, but I don't understand why I never got the survey emailed out, and I'm a parent.
So there was a survey that was sent out at the beginning of the year. Victor, was that through Parent Square?
Yes. Is your information updated? If not, please see me. We need to make sure it like.
For many years, since my high schoolers were there.
So we sent it out. We got some terrific responses. We're talking about if we want to send it out again and continue that conversation. But I would you can't do it now because it's been a few weeks or months and it's been closed. But we absolutely sent it out through the same messaging system that we use for all of our messages. Yeah. I'm gonna.
Hello, my name is Evelyn. I'm a parent at Spatonley Elementary School. My kids, when we first started with my son, he started 2019, I believe it was before COVID. When I did the change, they were at five days a week at school, and he had an IEP. The teachers, the involvement, especially during COVID, was amazing, but the grade didn't match. Like, I saw the grade of my son's school being a D. I was like, why are they a D? great school if like the teacher involvement was amazing. When they came back to school and they did a 4-day school, 4 days a week of school, my son did test out of an IEP, and it was amazing. The involvement of the school is great. So he's in 6th grade. I have a 4th grader and I have a 1st grader. Growing up, I grew up in the Cartwright district as well. And growing up, my mom wasn't able to attend things like this to speak on my behalf. And I feel like every time I'm involved with the kids at school, whether it's 1st grade and as they've grown up, the kids, I always ask them, hey, how do you feel about, you guys are going to school 4 days. When I went to school, I was going to school 5 days. Like, this is great, right? The kids love it. And I feel like, for example, for myself speaking on, I really hope if there's anybody else in Batonli that could back me up on this, the kids are going to see it more like a punishment because we do not have a gym at the school. We do not have a gymnasium. The kids are into the sports. It's just everything that we're involved with them. They're going to see it as, why are we going to get another day of school, but we still don't have a gym like the school across the street, the other school where we've gone to the track meets. The kids have been, very involved, and I feel like instead of adding on the extra school day, it should be more on focusing on what the kids are able to bring out their talents, because there's so much talents within the Cartwright School District, and just paying attention to the kids and just making sure they have all the support from everyone and make sure they're being also heard. That's going to be like amazing. And then again, I did notice that we have Cassandra here, without like respectfully, but I was happy to see her be a part of the governing board, because she could provide, like, as a parent, the younger, more, hey, this is what's working with us, this is what I see, this is what I'm seeing as a parent. Back in my days, when my mom was taking us to school, she saw it as, okay, I'm able to work and my kids are at school. Now, for myself, I'm not where my mom was at. I'm more involved. I work with the 4 days, the same as the other parents. The extra day we use for whether it's going to doctor's appointments. My son loves sports, so he's been in cross country, track and field. Use that extra day for him to focus on what's going to motivate him to have good grades, to keep going every single day of those 4 days of school, pushing and giving him his all to be able to make sure he's at grade level, and make sure he's able to continue his, being in track, being in cross country, whatever it is. And I honestly think that the 4 day is like just amazing for them. And certain kids might see it, if you guys don't get their input, they might see it as a punishment rather than, something that's going to benefit them.
Buenas noches. Pues yo quiero tocar el tema yo por ejemplo tengo mi hijo que él es dotado y lo quise cambiar de escuela porque no estábamos teniendo los recursos en la escuela, y cuando él supo que iba a ir 5 días fue algo que lo desanimó, porque si cambiaba de escuela iba a estar de lunes a viernes. Entonces siento que cuando estamos usando el viernes, de por sí los días son cortos, y siento que llegan de la escuela, van a su actividad extra, llegan, cenan, se bañan y a dormir, ¿verdad? Entonces el viernes sí se usa más como estamos en familia, estoy yo en la casa, está el papá en la casa y usamos pues el tiempo. Otra cuestión que siento que, como hablaban ahorita del dinero, que se tiene el dinero para usar un día más de escuela, siento que ese dinero se puede usar en más recursos que le están faltando a la escuela, ¿no? Entonces, como por ejemplo, en mi preocupación es la alimentación, mucho para los hijos. Entonces siento que los menús de la escuela pudieran ser de mejor calidad con ese dinero. Otra cosa podría ser que, pues a quién no le gusta tener un día libre, la verdad. O sea, siento que todos estamos de acuerdo, bueno, la mayoría. Y también, pues, para las citas médicas, tiene sus ventajas, tiene sus desventajas, porque sé que papás que trabajan los viernes, pues, van a tener este día también, como están en la escuela, no tengo que buscar quién me los cuide. Yo entiendo esa ventaja para los que quieren 5 días. Yo me puedo adaptar a las dos opciones, digo, pero me encantaría continuar con 4 días. Y lo último, pues, en nuestra zona sería un día más de caos en el tráfico. Entonces, pues el tráfico está todo el tiempo allá afuera y un día que no salimos a la calle de esa manera, con esa prisa, siento que en el estrés que vivimos diariamente, pues nos ayuda.
And I can translate a little bit what she said in English, just this teacher can know. She did talk about her son being gifted, and some other schools didn't have the resources, and Cartwright does have the resource for Cartwright District. Also, she talked about the advantage that she had, especially lunchtime, if they have extra money, so that way her son can do extra activities on Fridays. Also, she talked about lunches too. If we had extra money, maybe the lunch can change at school because it's kind of hard for some students as well. I think I remember.
Gracias. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lucy, and I have 3 kids that go to Glenelg Downs right now. I just asked them. They all prefer 4 days because 5 days and traffic is horrible. Yeah, we drive too much. Anyway, that's my first point. Number 2 is that if you go to a 5-day week, you're going to have more teachers calling off on Friday, honestly. They're already going to call off on probably next Tuesday because they're going to fly out on Wednesday since they don't have school on Wednesday. That's my second point. Third is that once I got the notification of possibly going to a 5-day school week, I immediately downloaded the document on how to get my kids on an ESA voucher between $7,000 and $9,000 per kid for me to keep them at home and homeschool them. That's going to be another option now for me. Okay? The school is going to lose that money if I take my kids out. And let's be honest, our schools need that money. Okay? Third point. Sorry. My fourth point is that every school that I've looked into our neighborhoods, honestly, they all get grades. And if before they were like C and D schools, now they're up to Bs, possibly next year As. If we keep them on a 4-day schedule, that benefits everybody. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Ok, buenas tardes, mi nombre es Margarita Trejo y yo tengo una estudiante en la escuela Borman. Ella tiene una condición especial que es el autismo. Ella va a la escuela 4 días a la semana y asiste los viernes a terapias. Tiene 4 horas de terapias y tiene dentista y tiene trabajo social los viernes. Entonces, un 5º día de regreso a la escuela le perjudicaría a ella completamente porque es el único día que ella tiene los especialistas los viernes.
Gracias.
Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es Laura. Yo vengo aquí representando la escuela de Harris. Veo aquí que hay bastantes padres de Harris. Entonces, yo estoy a favor de los 4 días. ¿Por qué? En primer lugar, aquí viene mi niña conmigo. Ella está en 2º grado. Ella está muy a favor de los 4 días. Todo el tiempo me dice, el 5º día, dice, es mi día para yo recuperarme mentalmente, físicamente de los otros 4 días. Hablando sobre lo de las maestras, yo trato de estar muy involucrada, soy voluntaria de la escuela, también soy PAC Mom de Harris, entonces yo tengo representando. Lo que les decía, estaba yo hablando un poco con las maestras y con los papás sobre 4 o 5 días. El 5º día, creo que no hemos hablado mucho de los maestros. El 5º día, los maestros lo usan como para hacer sus actividades de la escuela, para poderse preparar ellos, para tener ya su currículum, para tener ya todas sus tareas y todo hecho para que ellos puedan descansar sábado y domingo. Los maestros son personas, son humanos, ellos también tienen familia, también tienen a dónde ir, tienen cosas que hacer. De lunes a viernes ellos se dedican a la escuela, porque de lunes a jueves ellos van a la escuela, dan clases, los viernes ellos lo usan para poder hacer su currículum. Entonces, yo vengo, como les digo, como mamá, yo estoy muy a favor de los 4 días y estoy muy en contra del 5º día.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Lorena Miranda.
Permítame tantito, nada más les un recordatorio que Sonali nos está ayudando a interpretar y si abran por mucho tiempo no va a poder interpretar lo que están diciendo. So I'm just reminding everybody that we have Sonali who's here to interpret from Spanish to English, but if they go too long, she's not going to be able to remember what is being said. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Diga, comienza y luego dele oportunidad ya que te interprete.
I could do it in English.
All right, so then, perfect.
I'm a parent volunteering from Borman School. This is my first year, and I came from the District 1. They have 5 days over there. I have an IEP student, and I see a lot of improvement in my kid. Back then, he didn't know how to read or write, right? And now he's reading and learning how to write, and that makes a difference for my kid. We make the appointments on Friday, and I don't know if you say you don't know the answers to many questions. Why you guys make these meetings? You should know why you're gonna come to answer our questions.
We want to hear all these experiences.
Yeah, but you guys already make a thing and like you say, ya hicieron una encuesta y ustedes saben de lo que se están los padres que hemos votado tienen una escala de poner los números.
Yeah, it's just good to come together in person and have a conversation. You know, just doing everything online is not the same as coming and being able to share your voice.
That's why I think that I'm glad that you brought it up, because I always say it's better for us to talk one-on-one than always go in the computer or online.
Yeah.
And another thing, you guys already have the money to make the difference. Use the money for to fix the school, to teach other students that they're behind, and to make more parent like parents come to the school. In our school, we have Javier. He only comes 2 times a week because they don't have any other workers to be in a one single school. So you guys should see more, put your money in where we should be.
Thank you.
I just need to clarify that not necessarily the grade that the Arizona Department of Education goes or is aligned with what the students know in the classroom. During all my years of experience in education, we noticed that there were schools with a good grade, B is a good grade, but at the same time, we have too many students that lack reading comprehension. How the school got a B if they have a good number of students that do not have reading comprehension. So I never trust the grade that the Arizona Department of Education gave us, because it's tricky. And I think that it's political. It's not real. It's not aligned with what the students really know. So just be aware of that. And also be aware that Arizona is the state that has the most or the highest number of charter schools. What is the purpose of having every single day or every single year, more charter schools? I will say because they want to disappear public education. Be aware of that. Why we have less money in the schools every year? Why we have not enough resources for talented students? My 3 children were gifted, and I remember that they could travel to New York, to different places, and that it seems that does not exist. On my last years of teaching, we are allowed only to have 1 field trip, and we have to fight for that field trip. There are no more monies in the state. If they have the money, they are not providing the money to schools. So be aware of that, because the next fight is going to be fight for public education. Be aware of that.
Thank you.
Ok, buenas tardes. Estoy de acuerdo con la señora, con la maestra. Si yo le pregunto a mi hijo en la escuela, él me dice 3. Pasaría 4 días a gusto en mi casa viendo la televisión o los juegos. Ahorita se ha perdido el respeto. Hay muchos niños en las calles, hay mucho peligro. Entonces, en mi opinión, serían los 5 días. Ahorita lo que importa es su preparación, su futuro. Las citas al doctor las podemos tomar por las tardes. Hay clínicas abiertas hasta las 8 de la noche.
Déjame traducir poquito.
Otra de las cosas sería...
Voy a traducir.
Ok.
For my opinion, it will be 5 days will be good. We can make the doctor's appointment in the afternoon. ¿Qué puedes seguir? ¿Puedes seguir?
Ok, lo siguiente es que se están perdiendo los valores, no hay respeto. Hay muchos niños maltratados en las escuelas. Se debería de tomar conciencia en eso para que se inspeccionen a los directores. Veo que hay lonas y cercos nuevos en todas las escuelas, pero hay muchos niños maltratados. Yo hubiera preferido que se pusieran cámaras en las escuelas y se inspeccionaran.
She said that she has seen some of the schools that some of the students been mistreated. She can see all the gate they're doing at their schools, new gates and everything, and the new fencing. But she wants to have more cameras at school, maybe cameras so that way they can see the students.
También me gustaría que se motivaran a los maestros con incentivos, a los mejores maestros que hagan su mejor esfuerzo para que los niños se preparen sobre el futuro de nuestro país.
So she would like the teachers to have more education so that way because their student will be the future. That's it.
One thing that she said at the beginning was that if she was to ask her son would say how many days he wanted to go to school. Her son would say 3 days. Why would I want to go to school 5 days? So we have the kids are gonna say that they want to go to school.
Gracias.
Okay. Well, my name is Kathy, and I have a couple of grandchildren that go to Cartwright, and I take them every day, every morning. When they do want to do a school activity afterward, I have to go back an hour later to pick him up. And then I have another granddaughter at Maryvale, so then I have to go running after her every day too. So I do a lot of work, just as moms and dads do a lot of work with children. I can't imagine the families that have 4 or 5 kids. It's just hard. It's hard for the children, and it's hard for the parents. And what I'm hearing here is that everybody wants the day off on Friday for their children, they say, and for themselves, because that's the days that they can make appointments. That's the free day that they want. Okay, but the thing is, save your applause, because the thing is that what is more important, your appointments for your own selves or your families or other children or other kids or whatever? Or is it more important for your children to get the education? That's the thing. You're putting your priorities in a different mode, because like this lady said, you can always make an appointment after school on Saturdays. You can bring your child out of school, make the appointment, take him back in. That is the way I did it. My mother had 5 children, and I became a nurse. Wait, let me talk. I became a nurse for nearly 50 years. And you know what? I love school. Everybody has a job. You're not the only one. Everyone sacrifices for their children. And you need to make that sacrifice, because you don't want your kids to be mediocre, do you? That one day is precious. That one day could make a whole lot of difference in your children. And there will always be family contact. There will always be family contact. But you know what? The most important thing is that your child is in that school learning. If it's 4 days, but make it 5 days, that's even better. And the teachers, they have a load too. They're human. So are all the school districts. Now, right. They need a break, but they also became a teacher and they know that there's a lot of work, but we all are human. We all have to live around each other. We have to understand, but you have to understand that your children are more important, that you want them to succeed, but they will not succeed if they do not have the education. You need to keep your kids in school.
Thank you. Hey, I would just like to say, please, we are respectful people, and we have a room full of people who have different experiences. And this is a place for us to be able to come together and share those and have those conversations. And so just please be respectful of every voice in this room. And that's what we would like to ask. And I want to go as long as we need to go. And I will say that if we can't just continue in a respectful way, we're going to wrap it up. Okay. And so just, I would disagree with that statement. All right. Oh, we're going to go there and we'll go there and then I'll come to you.
Okay, I wanted to add to her saying that you can make your doctor's appointments. Some of them are open to 8. My kid's family doctor that they've been going to my doctor, they close at 5. And sometimes the specialists close at 3 or only open on certain days. And with them being home that Friday, that's more mental for them. It's better. They get to spend time with their siblings because at school they're just in class and then they come home and have to do chores and they have to do dinner and they have to do homework. Where's the family time? That's why the kids are being more successful on this 4-day because they're getting that family time.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Ana Gutiérrez. Yo soy nueva en el distrito. El motivo por la cual me motivé a cambiarme a este distrito fue precisamente porque tenían 4 días. Eso funcionaba perfectamente para mí.
Hi, my name is
Ana Gutiérrez.
Ana Gutierrez. I'm new at the school district. That's why I moved to Cartwright district because they had 4 days.
Sí, eso funcionó muy bien para mí y para mi familia porque mi hija pues seguida tiene muchas citas en el doctor. Quiero mencionar que la doctora de ella solamente trabaja por las mañanas y las citas de ella solamente las puedo hacer por las mañanas.
That worked for me for 4 days, and she having Fridays off because she has a lot of doctor's appointment, and her doctor is only available in the morning.
He escuchado que quieren cambiar de 4 a 5 días porque son muy poquitos días para enseñarles a los niños y hay muchos niños que faltan demasiado a la escuela.
I have heard that you guys want to change 4 days to 5 days because there's a lot of kids that miss school.
Yo quiero decir que mi hija sí ha faltado o se le han considerado faltas porque ella sangra mucho de su nariz y después de 3 veces que sangra y la mandan a la enfermería, me la tienen que mandar a casa, tengo que ir a recogerla. O si tienen temperatura, tengo que ir a recogerla. Y si eso pasa antes de creo que unas 50, ya se considera como falta.
My daughter she bleeds a lot from her nose, sometimes 3 times or more, so she has to be sent to the nurse's office. If she bleeds more, she's have sent home, or if she has a temperature. So sometimes if I had to pick her up before a certain time, it counts like a day missing.
Entonces recibí una carta donde me dice que mi hija ya tiene 8 faltas. Pues que vaya a la escuela a tratar de hablar acerca de esa situación. Quiero decirles que si cambian a 5 días, para mí no me va a funcionar. Si mi hija sigue sangrando o sigue teniendo temperatura, igual va a faltar.
And also because I received a letter for her that she's been absent 8 days. If they change the days back to Fridays, she's gonna miss the doctor's appointment and she's gonna have more absence days.
Una de las cosas que a mí me gustaría que yo podría ayudar a mi hija es, por ejemplo, cuando voy a recogerla a las 12 porque tiene temperatura, que me la llevo a mi casa, es que la maestra trabajara junto conmigo y me diera, por ejemplo, los ejercicios que ella va a perder para yo sentarme en casa con ella y ayudarle a hacerlos. Eso ya en varias ocasiones yo se lo he pedido a la maestra y nada más he recibido una sola vez que me da ejercicios para hacer en casa.
Sometimes when I pick up my daughter around noon, because she's been bleeding, she had a temperature, I will ask the teacher to give me her work to send home. Sometimes they will give it. It was only one time, so that way she can do the work at home and she doesn't miss out assignment.
Entonces yo pienso que los maestros podrían hacer un muy buen trabajo ayudándonos de esta manera. Pienso que, por ejemplo, mi hija no ha tenido muy buena experiencia. Ella tiene miedo preguntarle a la maestra ciertas cosas por la manera como, la actitud y la manera como se expresa.
It will be a really good job if the teacher will send home and helpful the work the students are missing. Sometimes she feels like her daughter cannot communicate with teachers. Sometimes she feels like she doesn't get the support from teachers.
Entonces, de igual manera, si van 4, 5, 6, 7 días, si mi hija tiene una duda, mi hija no le puede preguntar a la maestra porque tiene miedo que la maestra vaya a contestarle con actitud.
Sometimes if her daughter goes 5, 6, 7 days to school, if she asks for work for a teacher, she's scared that the teacher is going to give her an attitude.
Entonces sí considero que deberían de estar más atentos y verificar el comportamiento, la enseñanza de los maestros hacia los niños.
And she wants all people to be checking on teachers to see how they're behaving in their classroom.
Me parece mucho más importante
It's
eso.
more important that.
Una última cosa que quiero agregar es de que, no sé en este distrito, pero donde yo iba antes, tenían los 5 días y el quinto día lo tenían nada más mediodía y ese mediodía era como un día muy fácil, les ponían películas, era como más relax. Entonces, no sentía que era una gran diferencia.
Last when she was at the other district, they had 5 days. The 5 day it was a half day, and they will have something entertainment things and fun things to do. But she thought it was not helpful.
Es todo, gracias.
That's everything. Thank you.
Staff or principal should be checking more on the teachers and the teachers' attitude, because some of the teachers don't have a good attitude towards the kids.
Yeah, she was not translator.
Okay, we're gonna go there and then right here. Nope.
So my name is,
Yeah, go for it.
okay, my name is Laura. I am a teacher in the Cartwright district, but I also have a son that goes to Peña. So I kind of see both sides, the teacher versus the parent. I know most of us are sitting in this room because we want what's best for our child. Teachers are tired. We are overworked doing the job of 20 different people. I don't think a 5th day is going to help. If we want the best thing that's for our kids, the teachers need that extra day to recharge. We are stressed. We are tired. We have a million papers. Yeah, I know I signed up for it. You can throw that comment my way, but I didn't sign up for 20 different jobs, subbing for a teacher who's absent, teaching grammar to help the English teachers out because they have a full load. I don't want a 5th day of that. I need my time to recharge. I am ready for the kids on Monday when I have that extra day. You want a good education for your kids, let the teachers recharge so we come in with that I can do this attitude instead of being so overworked and exhausted. By the time we get there on Monday, we don't want to be there because we're tired. We have so much work to do. That extra day gives us that chance to be with our own kids, because I can't go on a field trip with my kid because then it means I have to call out of work. So I don't get that time with my kid. Friday, let's go on a field trip. Let's go to your OT because you don't qualify for an IEP. That's my recharge. That's my time to be mom, step away from my job, forget things so I can come back and give your kids that amazing education that you want to get. We can't do that if we don't have the support.
Hi, my name is Claudia. I come from Tomahawk Elementary School. I'm so glad you spoke before me. I was gonna say, obviously, I'm here advocating for my daughter. She obviously wants 4 days. But I'm here also to advocate for the teachers. I feel like when they need to have like teacher meetings and all these other things, grading papers, all that, instead of getting those that fifth day, why don't they pay better for the teachers so they can get their work done and be distressed for that Friday and then Monday, come back like she said, nice, and because we want education for our kids, yeah, but we want it with a positivity attitude. Teachers are stressed out. My daughter, she's a gifted child. Her classroom right now has 30 kids. And because some kids are, in different levels, they come from different parents, different houses and stuff like that. They're all different, obviously. If one gets in trouble, all the class is in trouble because teachers are overworked and they're just having the same structure. Hey, everybody, let's all stay behind. Okay, and so my point is, I lost my point. My point is that what about like for teachers, like, I don't know, pay them better, I don't know, or find other resources for that day to like meditate or something where everything's just love, peaceful, just to be recharged and ready for that next week. So our kids can be not only educated, but also learn those values of being calm and not being so stressed because we're all stressed. Everybody's stressed. Every day it's like, go, 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 let's do this, let's do that. All day long. I mean, yes, we went to school 5 days a week before. And, I grew up like I felt like all day long we were in school. So right now, I also vote for 4 days for many reasons, but I hope that also the teachers, I'm here to advocate for the kids, but also for the teachers. Like I said, the teachers deserve more than what they're getting. If you guys need to find where to spend that money on the fifth day, help the teachers out. Pay more. Find resource for them so they can be well educated, so they can help more our students be successful in life. Thank you. Sending love and positive for everybody.
Thank you.
Muy buenas tardes. Yo voy a dar mi punto de vista de acuerdo a lo que yo he platicado con mi hija. Mi hija va primer grado.
Good afternoon. ¿Cómo se llama?
Gracie.
Gracie. I just want to do my point of view. My daughter it's in first grade.
Yo he platicado con mi hija y ella no está de acuerdo en volver a los 5 días.
I've been talking to my daughter. She's does not agree to come back to 5 days.
Y por lo que no está de acuerdo es porque dice que es demasiado tiempo el que ella pasa en la escuela y muy poco tiempo el que está con su familia.
She said that it's a lot of time that she spent at school and then she doesn't spend more time at home.
Entonces, yo pienso que es mejor asistir 4 días, pero productivos, a que los niños asistan 5 días y sea desgastante para ellos o muy cansado.
I prefer for the kids to go 4 days because it will be more productive, do more productive things than having 5 days and kids to be exhausted on Friday. ¿Algo más? It will be more productive.
Hello, okay, back over here. First, I just want to say, no one should insinuate that.
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, okay, there. Okay, all right. No one should insinuate that a parent doesn't want their child to succeed. No one should insinuate that a parent doesn't want what is best for their child. So everyone is here passionately because they want what is best for their child, okay? So first off, no one should be making those insinuations. Second, everyone know what AI is, right? AI is going to drastically change the workforce and the way of life. It's inevitable. Inevitable. Are we going to be modern with a foot into the next century, or are we going to look backwards? Okay, so I don't understand, and I'm wondering if you could clarify who made this decision anyways? Who made the decision that we need to think about going back to 5 days? Because I'm not sure, teachers weren't informed until last night and the forum was packed, and it was overwhelmingly no one supported it. So could you please clarify who made the decision that we need to be considering going back to 5 days?
Yeah, I think a lot of people who were involved, I'll say I, as much as anybody, have started the conversation. We're lifelong educators, and just looking at different options for our families and for our kids. And I think it's a healthy conversation to have, and I love having it.
So this is you primarily. You're the one that made this
Sure,
decision to
Sure,
to
we
change
we
the
we
car
can,
ride.
we can go with that. Sure.
Okay, and then and the second thing is last night you kind of said something like you had budgetary issues figured out, but now tonight you're saying you don't really know the numbers. Could you please clarify
Yeah,
that as well?
I will say we are looking at two things. Number one is we're just looking at all of our financial options. And because we don't know what, if a decision's going to get made and what that would look like, there are just a lot of unknowns that we would have to plan for. And so there's some ambiguity there.
Elvira Corona representing Starlight Park. I just wanted to say from listening to, I used to think I first considered the 5-day school. After talking to a couple of teachers, I actually changed my mind. And the reason being is teachers have a lot of kids, over 30 students. So I understand that they were way, way overworked. And I also have a special kids with the gifted program and all that, who is also not getting where the support that she's supposed to be getting. With that being said, I think the better question should be not going back to 5 days, but how can we invest in 4 days? How can we help the teachers in 4 days? I think that's the better question.
I just want to say a short story. My son has a lot of issues like generalized anxiety, sensory processing disorder, just a lot of issues. And I remember one night being, heartbroken, and I don't know why, but I found Miss Castro's email somewhere on Google, and I messaged her late at night, and I told her, "Hey, you know what? I don't know which direction to go, but my son needs help. He was a 5-year-old back then." Right away, within hours, I don't know how she saw it, but within hours, she messaged me back. She CC'd everybody, and I want to get this mom the help she needs. And my son wasn't even enrolled at Cartwright. Next day, she followed up. She's like, "How are you doing? Come over here. Let's go walk around the installation so that way you could see what we can offer your son." So me and my son walked over there. He loved it. And everybody has been so great. I'm just saying, it has to do a lot where people like feel welcomed. um, Parents will stay there and kids will succeed. My son currently has a 504. He doesn't need an IEP. And I'm just so grateful for like the teachers at John F. Long, the principal at John F. Long, and I'm currently a worker. I'm a parent liaison at Holiday Park, and I just see all the support that kids are getting. Even at Holiday Park, we are a trauma-informed school. They have counseling, they have a behavioral specialist, and I see it every day. I see how staff helps the kids. I'm there, I'm seeing everything, and I'm just grateful for the staff at John F. Long and Holiday Park and how they help the kids. And I just feel like if a parent and a kid feels welcome at a school, they won't go anywhere else. There's no need for a 5-day school day. Like a 4 days is perfect for our kids. I do my neurologist appointments on Fridays, my appointments, my kids, and I just know if we go back to 5 days, my son's gonna be missing anyways, because one issue or another, he'll be missing
school. So I just believe 4 days is like a perfect fit for our kids and for most of our families.
Lucky you guys to be there. I've just been listening back and forth, which I wanted to do. Ideally, it's why I came. To listen to everybody else's. It's easy to give an opinion for myself to say, a lot of people just come, drop off their kids and go. But now that that I personally see everybody else's side of the story and, different situations or for whatever reason, right? I think that I came in the door with an open, I guess, mindset. 4 or 5 days, honestly, for me personally, it's not going to affect me pretty much at all. But I do fall in between. Like most parents here said, for them it will work 4 days. I have 4 children in total. 2 children are doing excellent. One is that Estrella, not like Blizzard. She has been one of the teachers that has been side by side with my daughter. Before she started at Cartwright 3 years ago, her self-esteem was very low. She was going to a 5-day school. I couldn't figure out what the reason was. And so I figured, let's try the 4-day. We moved to Cartwright District here in Phoenix now. And it did help improve that. But also what Miss, forget your name, I'm sorry, said about the quality time of the teachers. I feel that when they are in the 4 days, it's better. It's deeper, it's more personal. They take the time one-on-one because their mind is it's relaxed. It's all there. They're all well put together and just ready to like take one by one. I know that there's been a couple meetings that I went to where they do mention that the AZELA test, there's about 4,800 kids in Cartwright District that have not passed it yet. And so back to where I said I have 2 kids that are doing great. They passed in kinder. But then I have my other 2. One is in 3rd grade and she's just not managing to pass it. So that's where I'm saying I kind of am stuck in the crack there in the middle. I would benefit for my 2 that are doing well, just the 4 days. They love it. They use that extra Friday that's off to kind of like rewind, get it together. My oldest, who's in middle school, she's very independent, responsible, which I think that are very good qualities for just all kids, all students to develop. And I think that Friday will, in some way or sort, teach them, that later on in life, whether they become professionals, business owners, whatever it is that they want to do, it's good to take 1 day at least, or at least half a day to, go back, reorganize your schedule, your agenda, what to do, spa, massage, whatever it is you like to do. Go for a run, eat junk food, who cares? But like, it's good to have that quality me time. Now to my other kids, I do want them to have that extra help. And I've asked here, there, and I try to throw it in at the cafecito talks, at the coffee talks. I try to like insinuate it. I do. I throw it out there and I'm just blurring things out like, hey, I need extra help for 2 of my kids. I have 4. So we're like a bunch. Not because my 2 are doing okay, I'm going to assume that the other 2 are fine. I want them to all kind of be on the same level, as well as for all your guys' kids too. Like I wish and I hope that you guys all can like come together and we can figure out a way to kind of get them all on the same rate, same pace, same page. And then eventually no child left behind, which is the goal for America, period. For my other 2, I would like to, it's just something, that comes up to mind. And I think I went over my time already. I'm sorry. Don't kick me out. Quality time, 4 days, it's where they get it. They really do. The teachers come in with great attitudes. They have their personal life. They have their kids, which I've, have met a couple of them. The teacher liaisons, great. We don't have enough resources. We want to be involved. We try to, but if we go home, we don't know how. I personally do. I speak English, bilingual. I can translate, read, write, everything, you name it, born and raised here. Graduated, did a little more than some college and then medical. So I can stand for myself and advocate for myself and my children. What they don't know, what the teacher didn't finish, I can kind of like recap with them, fill in spaces. But I've noticed that there is some others that don't have computer skills. They do have the English class, which is great, by the way. I've kind of went in there, just to check it out. But they don't have computer skills. They don't have the extra tutors. Friday, I think that would be a great day, but only for the ones that really either sign up for it or are recommended. Sort of like field trips, and then summer school through the year.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jeanette. My son actually goes, or both of my kids actually go to Justin Spatanley. Yeah. I don't know if I could wait until he's done talking. Oh, okay. Okay. Go ahead and talk. Okay. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you guys. But one thing is, I was one of the persons that did not put in my survey, and I apologize. So I do want to tell you that I appreciate you giving us this opportunity to speak in person, because I was a little late on the survey. But my question, I do have two questions, if you don't mind. But my first question is in regards of the survey. Do you have the results in regards of the survey, and can we know those results?
Yeah, we have the results and we'll be able to share those out. Sure.
Okay, today?
It's going to take a little bit of while. We've got to sift through. We'll probably remove some, we have to, because we have to remove some comments that might have student information, because there was a comment section and people said, hey, my child X at this school, X, Y, and Z. And so we would have to do a little bit of removing personally identifiable information from some of the survey data before we would share it.
Okay, and then the other question I had was, I feel like majority of us parents, we can go all night long in regards to giving our points. And I feel like all of us have valid reasons why we feel like 4 days is, more beneficial for our families. I also feel like we all come in agreement, as far as that, well, majority of us come in agreement and we're all in favor for that. But do you know when we're going to find out these results and the conclusion of when the next decision is going to be in
Yeah.
regards of the 4 days or 5 days?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we want to move forward with this, we're going to bring it to the governing board for, like I said, a public meeting. There's just certain laws around that to present some information as early as December. And then the goal would be to have, if the board wants to move forward, to have a decision made in January so that people can decide what they want to do for the next year, so that employees could make decisions before contracts have to be signed. So that's kind of our timeline in the next few months and before the end of January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I truly appreciate, again, your time. I just know from my feedback, I just feel like quality is better than quantity, and if those finances went to our schools, the 4 days can be just as beneficial as 5 days. So, but thank you.
Thank you. You raised your hand.
But not for the
No,
microphone.
you didn't want the
It's okay. No, it's okay. No, I just wanted to give my opinion. My daughter goes to Harris, and personally, it's her first year. She's in kindergarten. And when I found out it was a 4-day week, I was like, oh my God, because who has a 4-day week? I was hearing her. I went to I had a 5-day week, but it didn't matter that I had a 5-day week. What mattered is the one teacher who stayed with me to help me learn, because it didn't matter that I went 5 days. I still didn't get it. And I don't like to just go and say, okay, here is my papers. I want to understand it. I want to grasp it. And right now, she gets it. And I look at her, I'm like, how do you get it? Because sometimes I mean, I'm an adult and there's are things that I don't get. So it doesn't, to me personally, I don't think that a 4-day or a 5-day matters. What matters is the time that the teachers are putting in to their students. Because I know that to this day, that one teacher made a difference for me because she stayed to help me. I didn't know English and she helped me learn English. And now you can't even tell that Spanish was my first language. So, and then in terms of appointments, I'm struggling with the fact that also got a letter that my child missed school. I can't pull her out of school early because it's an absence, and I can't call her out because it's also an absence. So I don't know where I can help her because sometimes Fridays are not an option. Sometimes it's Tuesday at 10 and I can't take her out because she's absent, and I can't call her out because she's absent. So it's just, I'm frustrated in that aspect. I don't want her to miss school, but I also don't want her to miss out and me put her health in jeopardy because I can't make it on the days that are available and on the days that are not available. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I like it. I like the 4-day school. I love the teachers. I love the principal. I love the fact that she knows everybody by name. I'm representing from Harris. I see them in the morning, there in the afternoon, everywhere I see her. And I love that she's there and she's involved with them and she knows every single kid by name because there's a lot of kids. And she knows everybody by name and she hugs everybody and everybody's just so loving. And I feel like it does help that she also has 4 days because it wouldn't happen if she didn't have that day to recharge. I don't think she would have that same positive attitude without it. That's it.
We're gonna hit here, there, and there.
Sí, quiero comentarles algo que sucedió con mi hijo cuando él salió de 6º grado y que pasó al 7.
I just want to share something about my 6th grader when he moved on to 7th grade.
A él tuvo problemas de ansiedad. Cuando yo acudí con la directora, ella me recomendó, creo que se llama Med 24. No
So
recuerdo el
he had
nombre.
some anxiety issues, and I talked to the principal, and the principal recommended a place called Mid 24 or something like that.
Ok, mi hijo estuvo faltando casi por noviembre, diciembre, casi 60 días, que era imposible llevarlo a la escuela.
And he missed about 60 days, December and November. It was about 60 days because 60 days I wasn't able to take him to school.
La solución que yo tenía era seguir llevando las terapias,
The solution that I had was to keep taking him to therapies,
pero era muy costoso.
but it was really expensive.
Después de ese tiempo, recibí una llamada de la señora Emma y me dijo que la solución era remover a mi hijo de la escuela.
After that, I got a phone call from Miss Emma, and she told me that the solution was for me to take my son out of school.
Hace 2 semanas estuve en una reunión donde describían hacia dónde se van los fondos que se le proveen a la escuela y ahí fue donde me di cuenta que hay fondos para ayuda para niños con esas necesidades.
About 2 weeks ago, I attended a meeting. It was a budget meeting, and I learned that there are funds, and where that there are funds to be able to help the kids, and where those funds go.
Fue gracias a la ayuda de una de las representantes de la mesa directiva que yo le comenté la situación de mi hijo.
It was thanks to one of the board members. I shared my son's story.
Ella le envió un correo electrónico a la señora Emma. Después de esa llamada, se comunicó conmigo para poner toda la atención en mi niño. Pero ¿qué hubiera pasado si yo no hubiera tenido contacto con esa representante?
So
Mi
after my
hijo se hubiera
convers-
tenido que ir de esta escuela.
So after my conversation with the board member, she sent an email to Ms. Emma, and then Ms. Emma responded to me, and she changed everything, and then my son was able to get the support that he needed. But what would have happened if I hadn't talked to that board member? My
Es-
son would have to left school.
Esto se los comento por si alguno de ustedes está pasando en esta situación con sus hijos. Es muy frustrante no saber qué hacer y que te llamen y te digan, lo tienes que cambiar de escuela.
And the reason why I'm sharing this is in case any of you guys are going through the same situation, because it is very frustrating to have someone tell you that you have to remove your kid from school.
I don't know about everybody, but I agree, it's more about quality than quantity. I have we represent Harris. My daughter graduated last year. She got accepted into the honors program at Maryville. She got into the gifted program at Maryville, I mean, and she wasn't, she qualified as gifted at school. But even she can attest, she probably wouldn't have been maybe in that position if it hadn't been for some great teachers that actually took their time, worked with her. They saw her potential. They took that time to show her. They knew she was advanced, so they took that time to give her the quality. I want to say the advancement that she needed to continue advancing. And she's a straight A student right now in the gifted program Maryville. We still keep in contact with the teachers that helped her out. Unfortunately, one of them is not at Cartwright anymore. She moved to Texas because she said she wasn't getting I was gonna say, a lot of things that happen, where the teachers need assistance, they need the resources, they need the help. So it's I don't think it's a matter of 4 or 5 days. It's a matter of what resources are available. And this is not something that's just going to affect the teachers. It's going to affect the staff. It's going to affect the nurses. I talked to some of the staff members this morning, and they're even, saying if this goes to a 5-day, we're leaving. We can't. I've seen a lot of great staff members, because I still keep in contact with a lot of them, that have left our district to go to other districts because they say, the anxiety here is too much. A lot of them have said, oh, we've gotten bullied even by administrators. We got bullied by some other parents. There's a lot of things going on. My child was one of the ones I went to that forum that was bullied, but thankfully, because of the teachers that stepped in, she was able to continue at Harris. I agree with her, Miss Ed. She's wonderful. I call her our school mom. She knows my kids by names. She's always been there whenever we need her. So I think it all comes down to like who's available, who's going to make a difference. The teachers. I think if they have, that day off, we have teachers here that we heard from. They all agree they need that time. We have multiple students, like you said. There's like 12,000 kids in the Cartwright system. And so I don't think it's going to make a difference right now. The kids are learning. I understand where she's coming from. I went to school 5 days, but the kids nowadays are learning, things that we didn't learn back then. So it's a lot more than just having another day at it. It's more of what resources the teachers are going to have available, what time are they going to have available, what kind of training are you guys supplying them, resources also for like the parents to know what they can do, maybe tutoring programs or after school programs or other things that might be available.
Yes, thank you. To tack on to her statement, has the board looked at scenarios where if you guys do decide to go back to 5 days a week and teachers quit? Because in Arizona, I believe, don't take my word for it, I've understood that about 4,000 teachers has quit this year so far. So have you guys looked at those scenarios? I mean, how much is acceptable to you guys? Because I know in your guys' staff meeting, you guys even stated that, oh, it's okay if you guys quit. What have you guys looked at and what's acceptable?
So first of all, I don't think anybody said it's okay if you guys quit. I think the conversation was if a change happens, we expect people to leave. Like there are people who have come to work for Cartwright because of the 4-day week. So absolutely. And so if Cartwright decides to go to 5 days, if that's why you came here, you'll go, and that's okay. And that's not good. That's not bad. That's just a statement of fact. I want every good teacher we can possibly get to stay here in Cartwright, whether it's 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, whatever it is. And so I just want to clarify that. And you're absolutely right. We here in Arizona are having a lot of conversations. Just how do we keep good teachers in the classroom? And we have people who leave Cartwright. We have people who leave Paradise Valley, and we absolutely want to keep our best teachers here serving our community, without a doubt.
Well, to add to that, Mr. Watson, for some of those with a curious face, they had a staff meeting yesterday night and that was touched. And then to add on to that, one of the things that Cartwright offers or tries to recruit people, incentivize, whatever word you want to put to it, was a 4-day work week. So why now? Why the switch?
Can you give him the mic? I didn't hear. What did you
Yeah.
say?
So he's asking why the switch?
Can you give him the mic?
Yeah. You want?
So I see some curious faces as to why the statement was said and why they had a staff meeting yesterday and it was stated, well, it was talked about. And so another thing that Cartwright looks to incentivize to recruit staff members, teachers, whatever you want to call them, was a 4-day work week. And it states it on their website. So why now? Why the switch? And have they looked at the scenarios? If they lose X amount of teachers, how it's going to affect the kids, the grades, and so forth. Thank you.
And so, yeah, absolutely. We are always looking at how to keep and retain good teachers. That's just something every school district is working toward. We are in a tight competition with our neighbors. And absolutely, we have teachers who come here for the 4-day week. Absolutely. And data also shows when you survey teachers, they come because they want to work for a good principal. They come because they want some autonomy in the classroom. They come because they want to have time to prepare and plan. And so we look at all of that data as we're making decisions about how to keep and retain the best teachers. And so it's not just a one thing, we're looking at everything. We do, actually. All right. We're going to go there. And then
Esta es mi última pregunta. Quiero saber si realmente nuestra opinión o nuestro voto va a contar.
This is
Para
my
una
last
decisión.
question. I just want to know if our opinion is actually going to count to make a decision.
Porque ahorita mencionaste que la decisión de ser posible o no sé si de ser necesario llegaría a la mesa directiva. Ellos la tomarían.
Because you mentioned that the decision was going to be presented to the board. If it was necessary, it was going to be presented to the board.
Entonces, ¿quién va a tomar esta decisión? ¿Los padres o los directivos? Porque creo que la mayoría quiere 4 días, pero si ustedes eligen 5, ¿en base a qué va a ser? A nuestra opinión, perdón.
So who's going to make the decision? Because is it going to be the principals, the administration, the parents? Who's going to make the decision? And if the decision is made to make to go to the 5-day.
Se hizo una encuesta, bueno, yo no recibí esa encuesta, pero se hizo una encuesta es para tener en cuenta esta opinión.
So the survey that was sent, I didn't receive the survey, but the survey that was sent, was it to take our opinion into consideration?
Y estamos aquí porque queremos ser escuchados en base a la decisión de los días.
And we're here because we want to be heard about the decision of how many days the school's going to.
Entonces, ¿sí tenemos voto o no tenemos voto?
So do we have a voice and vote, or don't we?
So thank you for those questions. And ultimately is going to be the decision of our governing board. And they are going to, ultimately is going to be the decision of our governing board. And they are going to make that decision. And we will implement that policy. And I would say, yes, 100%, your voice counts. You coming here and expressing your experience with the school week, we appreciate that. That's important to us. And I will say, going back to this idea, is we have 12,000 families or 12,000 children. And so we are trying to reach out to as many people as we can to get feedback. There are, we probably represent in this room today, maybe 50 or 60 families in this broader 12,000. And so we want to continue this conversation. Some of our next conversations will happen at a board meeting in public where more people can come and share.
Thank you.
Hi, my child goes to Spitality, and it's not just my child. I currently have 7 children. The first 3 went to the 5 days a week. And now I am a foster mother, and I have 4 other kids that I deal with that do the 4-day. And I can tell you the benefits from having this for my children is just off the charts. Number 1, one of my foster children has ODD, ADHD, and is bonkers. This teacher has to deal with him day in and day out. I can only imagine how many other kids in her class are going through the same situation. The fact that this teacher stands on him, she's working with him. He could read, he could write, he can spell. I mean, this just benefits him. Now, you tell this little boy that he's have to go another day, you're gonna need therapies. He's gonna be lashing out a lot more. He's gonna throw fits a lot more. And it is like a punishment. Like she said, it's a punishment to them. Benefiting because I do have other kids, and yes, my kids graduated. They've been to college, in the Army. So you can't tell me that, yes, I understand 5 days works. 4 days works too. This is a new era that we're in. We're not, sitting at the table where we just do our basic work and we hand it in and we go. These kids need more stimulation. They need more encouragement. They need to let you know that you're there. But these teachers at Spitality are there for the kids. And it doesn't matter if it's, 4 days, but the 5 days, I think is just way too much to put on me. As a foster parent, I have meetings with the parents. I would have to take them out for sibling meetings, basically to go visit the parents. I have to do doctor's appointments. Remind you, I have extra stuff that I have to do. So I not only do that, I also have a job. So it benefits me and it benefits my kids. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. We're gonna go right here, and then we're gonna go here, and then I'm coming to you.
Hello, this is Aide Guzman. Well, to me personally, I'm blessed enough to have a way to either have 4 days or 5 days. I wasn't gonna come, but then I'm the PAC president, and I heard that some people were saying that we kind of voted that we wanted 5 days, and if that would have came up or something like that, I was gonna say we did not vote for that. Okay, so with that being said, I hear that a lot of people want 4 days, and that's okay with me. Like I said, I'm flexible. For me, for my schedule, it doesn't matter. Another thing, Miss Lydia here, she's the president of the board. So you can let us know what exactly do we need to do, or what is it gonna be for you to choose in here as that we want 4 days. So before I lose my thought, you go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a very good question because we have a challenge before us. We've been a 5-day school for many, many years, and we heard, the good stories. It works. I went through it too. However, the reality is that 96% of our kids cannot read, write, or do math at their grade level. But we went to 4 days and we tried it. So I turned this around, and I've got a challenge for staff. I'm saying, collect me the data, get me the numbers. And we had a very extensive, long meeting with administrators with their challenges, because we as board members have to make the best informed decisions with all the information. And what I tried to share yesterday was that, and you have to understand that people are apprehensive, staff, because you have the luxury right now of having 4 days versus 5. You're gonna have to work 1 more day. That's very tough. We know that. We know the stress. The thing is, and I've been repeating this over and over with folks that I talk, including staff and administrators and our superintendent, is work with me, show me, let me know. What resources do you need? What do you need from us, the board? We need to focus on policy. We need to be able, there's a pie of funding, and it's not that easy. I can't just say, oh, you know what, we'll give everything to this section. Or it doesn't work that way. It's difficult, it's challenging. So if we make any adjustments, we know that we have needs in certain areas. I hear the complaints from the parents all the time. I stand out in front of Fry's for 3 months, and people are upset repeatedly with stories of feeling like they're dismissed with behavioral issues, mental health issues. So I'm trying to make the best informed decision and hearing everybody out. But more so than anything, the pressure is going to be on staff. How do we divvy up the pie differently so that we are doing the best, providing the resources that everybody needs, the kids need? Because right now, the reality, and I'm going to use my daughter as an example. Since she graduated, she's lost 20 kids that have died. So we're losing them at higher numbers. This is just the ones that that we we're privy to. They're friends of ours. How do we stop that? Because we need to. I'm elected by you guys, the parents, and I need to show deliverables to my parents. I need to do everything that I can to make sure that we're not losing kids when they get to high school. Because there's a lot of complaints from the high schools that we fit into because our kids can't read. I'm not blaming, saying, hey, teachers, you got all the blame. No, it's on us. And if anything, I am putting a blame on the board for lack of responsibility for not ensuring that the kids had all the resources. So when I hear the stories, my kid went through that, it's my fault. So I want to make sure that our parents are engaged and understand, because I was in the minority for 6 years. Frustrating because I questioned everything. The result and the reality is what we've produced. It's what everybody's complaining about. I don't want to complain. I want to find resolve. I want an answer. And so I need to make sure that I'm listening to everybody. I don't think there's going to be the best answer, but I think we've got to apply our due diligence. It's our responsibility to do that. And whether I like to hear it or people, is that going to make me popular or not popular? It doesn't matter because it's the results.
So
And
we
it's
are
not
going to
about
5
me.
days then.
No, not yet. Remember,
They're
we had a
failing,
meeting
so how are-
with principals.
Mhm.
I don't have the resolve yet back about the resources that are needed. I heard a lot of the challenges. We have to map together what's going to be best. How does it work? How are we going to make sure that the teachers have the tools that they need? Because right now they don't.
Okay, so
That's why
now
there's
it's
a lot of
about
pressure.
the tools, not about the days.
What is that?
So now it's about the tools. Like we need.
It's
bet-
always been about the tools.
So it's
One of the
not-
options was the days.
Okay, so then that was my other follow-up thing. For the parents that that they want 4 or 3 days, and it seems like most of them want 4 days. There's a reason why. So I don't see. I mean, I saw like 2 people saying that they want 5 days. So at the end of the day, maybe you should take that into consideration, and not you said that kids are falling in in reading, math, or they're below.
96% of our population, we've got how many students? 14,500 kids.
Mhm.
That many kids cannot read or write or do math at their grade level, but we're passing them on. They're going to high school.
Well,
And
they-
that has nothing to do with the letter grade, but it's called proficiency.
Yeah, and then with the new system, now it's going to be harder for the kids to catch up, right?
I'm sorry,
For the
what new
reading,
system?
for the reading program, because we have a new reading program.
This is what we're trying to do is incorporate. There's a lot of stuff that we weren't doing, by the way. Curriculum with the state, there's a lot of requirements. We didn't have curriculum alignment. Every school site was doing something differently. I am asking those tough questions of the superintendent because they've got to produce. So they're got to produce me with an answer. So there's no decision that's been made, but we need to explore and listen to everybody. And the reality, this is where we've got to do something because what we've been doing didn't work. 4 days hasn't worked. So we got to make sure that we are applying the due diligence to make that good decision because right now they're going on to high school and they're going to graduate. Some, because of the rigor in high school, For some, we're losing our kids and not graduating. They're going, they lose interest and they don't stay in school. We have to stop that. The only way we're going to be able to do that is here.
Okay.
So that's all. But I want help. I need help. I'm not doing it alone. But I am willing to face whatever comes because it is about them so that they have the best opportunity to be able to read, get a job, and be a productive citizen like everybody else.
If I was a teacher working at Cartwright, I will pick 4 days, believe me. I will pick 4 days. But my responsibility as a citizen is provide more time to my students in order for all of them. It doesn't matter the level they have to learn how to read and how to do math. As simple as that. And the decision that I think that the board is going to take, it is going to be for the benefit of the students. The student must be number one. Yes. It's not about what is easier for me. Why do we have to sacrifice a whole class because one or two are going to have doctor appointments?
Okay, sorry to just budge in real
Sorry.
fast. Thank you. As a parent and remembering back to when I was a student also in the Cartwright School District, thinking back to the way we were when we were 5 days, our teachers were always tired. Our teachers, even if we were the 5 days, I don't feel like it benefited me the way I learned, only because we did the 5 days and the teachers always felt like they were tired. They took so many tests. We don't have all the help. We don't have this. We don't have that. And now that I'm a parent and I see the effort that these teachers, yes, they're at 4 days, but they're all that they put into the kids. They put so much effort into making sure they know what they're doing. And at least with Spitalny, with my personal experience with my kids, my son, when he first came into Spitalny, he was in an IEP, had speech classes, didn't know how to read. We were at a different school district. We were at Pendergast. Pendergast kept pulling him behind, pulling him behind, pulling him behind. And they were like, he has to learn how to read at grade level. We come to Spitalny put, and me putting my part as a parent as well, we put our all into him. He's reading at grade level. He tested out of the IEP. And I feel like it was thanks to that dedication of the teachers that he has, and he's remembered each and every one of his teachers. He has that, they created that friendship, or not friendship, but like that bond as a teacher and a student for him to reach out when he needed help. For me, when I went to school, it was very much like we couldn't ask for help. There's just so many kids. Oh, there's language barriers. It was us trying to help. For myself as well, I'm bilingual, trying to help my other classmates that didn't know how to speak English, teaching them what I was learning as well. So everything, all of that, and now how everything is way different. So as a parent, I feel like thank you for giving us that option as well of, making sure that our voice does count. But I feel like the 4 days and the dedication that the teachers have of them having that mental day is making such a big difference in our students' lives. And if for whatever reason, whatever parent, isn't able to or doesn't like the idea of the 4 days, they as well have their reasons. So I know that certain people want to make it about the appointments or seeing it in that way. But yes, that has a big play because you miss 1 day of school, they miss a lot. The way that the curriculums are nowadays compared to when I was in school is way different. So the same way as my son has learned, I've, put my effort into making sure that I'm learning and I know how to teach him what he's learning. And if it's about the reading, if it's about the math, if it's like everything, I honestly think that maybe there's no way of, if you guys are already stressing about the 5 days or the kids not being at like passing the test or whatever it is, it's just adding that extra stress on them, like in their education, is not going to benefit them. And I mean, my son likes the 4 days, and I'm his voice, and I will stand behind it. And I think he's doing a great job. Spitali's been great to us, and he's. Do you want to say something?
Thank you.
My name's Laura, and I am not only a mom, but I also work for the school. I work at Sunset. And my only question is, if we can find the budget for a 5th day, why don't we have summer school? Why don't we have after-school programs? Why don't we have the budget for tutoring? Why don't we have all that?
I can answer that. I'd be glad to.
Mhm.
Oh, daycare as well? We just.
Oh, yeah, and daycare for the teachers has been cut now. They're not accepting new kids.
Oh, we don't. We kept the childcare, but we were assessing. This is what's happened.
No, daycare, you're not accepting new kids. It's just the
We're
kids
not.
that are already there.
No, but let me explain. We've spent the last 6 months, at least, maybe 7, I don't know how many it's been, reporting to the community through our board meetings. We've had presentations. We've had in the recent years, the last 2 or 3 years, an opportunity to have the most funding that we've ever had. Every school district, not enough. Okay, I'm never going to say that it's always enough, because we could always have more. But we have expended over $200 million over the last few years. And then including went to a 4-day. We incorporated, made a lot of changes that we're not able to carry. So we just lost 700 kids this past year. We're going to, there's a pattern. We're going to continue. The kids are leaving. Okay. So this is the first time that, that I'm president in like maybe 15 years, but I'm asking I have never stopped asking those questions. But the reason we're looking at funding now is because all that money was spent. And so now we've got to hone in and realize, wait a minute, we also opened and created a lot of positions, which we're having better times. All districts did it. We're not the only ones. They made extra positions, created positions for support. Let's say a district office. And now that money's gone. So we're aligning everything. We have to streamline. We have to tighten back up. Do we have the money available? I believe we probably do. Our financial person's not here, about 1 day. If we have to do it, we'd have to. We'd have to look at everything to see what we've got to make some cuts. We have to, if we have to go to the 5-day. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm assuming if we do, we have to. Because even now, if we're looking at the teachers not having those resources, it looks like they don't have it.
We don't.
But we're not, but this is, I'm finding this out now because I'm asking those questions. We just met. I'm sorry. Oh, let me explain this. I'm trying to understand because there's like 3 questions, but I'd be glad to answer every single one of them. I've been a board member for 20 years. There's 5 members, right? Look at my hand here. There's 5 members. I was in the minority in the last 6 years. It wasn't my decision. You guys, I would welcome you. If you're bored any night, go onto YouTube and watch the meetings. My questions, asking the repeated created positions over and over. We were playing Monopoly. We were playing games with the titles. What happens is when we had that much money, we hired all the staffers and we were moving them around. There was no stability. So the district office staff is here to provide resources to the principals. We have enough, the same amount of staff. Our district office is just as big as Mesa Public Schools. And how many kids do they have? 50,000 kids. And yet our kids are not able to read and write and do math at their grade level. But we have the resources I'm not saying that these people are invaluable. I'm saying somebody set them up for failure. because you have to align. There is a reason, a rationale by creating positions that are going to be able to provide you with the resources. It wasn't, obviously, it's not there. So we have to reassess because it's not working. And because we've lost 700 kids, I just came on the board. I mean, I just became president. Now we have majority. Now my questions and request for information that was not given to me the last few years, I have access to. And this is the data that we're looking at now. This is not new, but it took me this long to be able to be in a position to be an effective leader. So I don't know it all. I've learned over the years, but I've got colleagues and best practices at the national level that I'd like to see incorporated, because it's like I told the staff, you've been set up for failure. I want to be able to provide you the resources. It's very simple. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. It's hard, but we're going to have to really look in to make that. And it's going to take time. I hope that I've answered. And also, I'm open. I'm going to give you my cell number. You guys, I'm open to meet with you or talk to you or any. I'm not. I'm a very public person. And our meetings we meet twice a month. I cannot stress enough the importance of these meetings, because every meeting we've been presenting reports of the details of the dollar, the questions of what's going on. And we just have to, honestly, it's kind of, burdensome. We have to repeat. But parental engagement is one of our priorities that had gone away. The reason we need that parental involvement is so that we provide the resources to each site so that the parents are listened to. There's an equation of multifaceted factors that come into play together. And if we're not developing, and all these factors that impact the student academic achievement, we're not going to get there. So we're trying to be as comprehensive as we can. And I know the questions to ask. The pressure is on the staff, and I know that, it's tough. But this is going to have to be dealt out. We're no different than any other district, but I believe that we have the intention of providing the best education for our kids.
When you do the things that you need to do for the schools, that maybe the best thing is to get some person to advocate when mothers have problems with the children or IEPs or learning problems. They go to a person that can help them, and that's what's missing. They don't know what to do with the children that are having problems.
We do, and I understand it because I was a parent too. The parental engagement component, we do have parent liaisons that you could refer to. We have actually part of our policy. The policy is just another name for rules and procedures. And they give you a handbook at the beginning. And I know it's thick, okay? But through our cafecitos, we hope that we're providing you with the information so that we're able to tell you how to file a complaint, who to talk to, go to your principal, go to your teacher. There is a process. I know. If you don't get, and that's why we need a parental engagement component to be elaborated. We do have a plan in place. And it's going to come in intervals. We can't just throw everything into the pot at once. So it's a lot for staff as well. But
And parents, remember that in the district doesn't check the budget. Remember that there are several school districts that are closing school. Last school I worked at for 12 years was closed last school year.
And
one of the three that was about closed.
I'd like to add one thing about money real quick and budgets. And, I appreciate President Hernandez's comments about we're trying to look at how we've been spending money in the past. And are there any principals in here at the moment or other administrators? So we publicly put out what's called a I don't think I've ever actually said this publicly yet, but we have what's called a step salary. And we have it for teachers and we have it for administrators. And it shows you how much you should earn every year. And we had in our administrative our contracts basically additional money that each administrator and each principal got that wasn't publicly noticed, that wasn't on the salary schedule. And so I'll tell you, it's $20,000 per person, per principal and per administrator. So basically a director and higher in the district office. And we've been having those conversations about where do we find money that maybe we didn't know we were spending, that we need to take back and spend in the classroom. And so as we're talking about, just trying to track down and making sure every single dollar that we can possibly find that we spend improving outcomes for kids. And I do want to say one more thing, and then we'll get you. I've heard from a couple of parents today, and it makes me very concerned when it says, my kids don't want a fifth day because they feel like it's punishment. If that's what school is, we're doing it wrong. We need to hold our kids to high standards and hold them accountable, and they can't misbehave. But if we're creating an environment where they feel like school is punishment, we need to do a better job. And so I just want to make sure that, as I've heard that's concerning to me, because we want to make sure that it's a place where our kids feel safe. And when our kids feel safe, they can learn. And we want to make sure that we have a teacher who's building a relationship with each one of our kids. So I appreciate that. Sir, thank you for being patient.
Yeah, my name is Jorge Castañeda. I just have a couple, a comment to say and maybe a couple questions. If you finding money for the fifth day, why don't give to schools the tools they need or whatever they need to improve our children's education? Another thing, education starts at home, right? So I'm a father of two. And sometimes when I told one of my kids, go read, they go to sleep. You see, and I'm pretty sure it happens to a lot of people here. And a lot of these people that wants the Fridays, for the kids, it's because they rather hand them the phone, sit down and be quiet, than give them a book. I'm telling you as a parent.
I've done it.
Right? So we're on a reunion anywhere on a reunion, and the easiest way is just be quiet, mijo. Here, go. This is the simple way to get things fixed. Why don't give the teachers or the schools the tools they need for our children to learn? Because what I've been hearing here in the meeting, they're being limited on equipment or whatever they need to produce whatever people is expecting to get. And another thing for the survey, I'm pretty sure a lot of us didn't know about the survey, what was it about, until probably yesterday or today. And if that survey can be resent to check it out and to reopen now that we know what it's about, and we could, go from there.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out. And I agree with you 100%. And that we need to give our teachers the tools they need to be successful in the classroom. And that's what any money we find, we're going to do what's best for our kids to improve outcomes for them.
Yeah, 'cause,
Without
I
a doubt.
mean, we're saying where we're talking about. Oh, we want the fifth day because we want the kids to improve. But if I'm a teacher and I'm getting paid minimum, I would expect you to pay me more because I'm working a little harder, right? And I bet, like, on my job, sometimes I have to put money out of my pocket to get my stuff that I need to show or to do my work. And I bet there's a lot of teachers that do that out of their own pockets, buying little things here and there to make things easier for them or for the students. I mean, it's you wasted money for a fifth day. Just put it to the school, put it to their paycheck or whatever, to improve things. No?
Yeah, and the answer is yes, we're working on that. We're talking about class sizes to see if we can make class sizes a little bit more manageable for our teachers. And we can do more than one thing at a time, right? We can walk and chew gum at the same time. So we're going to have some conversations. Like I said, just our governing board creates that policy that tells us as a school district where we should be moving and going forward. And our job is to implement that. And so I know that our board, all 5 of our board members are passionate about doing good things for kids. So yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're gonna go there and then.
Hi, my name is Sandra Cobos Reese. I am a teacher at Justine Spitali. I'm a second grade teacher. I used to be a chief, or I forget what our specialist name was called, acceleration specialist. And that money was funded with our ESSER funds, COVID money, for those of you who are not sure what ESSER funds was. And that was a position where we pulled kids who were the bubble kids, the kids that were just barely missing being at benchmark. And we pulled them for reading, we pulled them for math. And this was such a great opportunity for our students that we have the data that shows that they were growing, they were making gains. And then unfortunately, because we did not have that money anymore, because it was just for a short period of time, we had to cut all those positions. Now, those were positions that were actually helping our students improve. So the kids that were getting missed, that were just stuck in the tier 1 classrooms, not getting pulled because they weren't the lowest, they weren't the gifted, they were the kids that just were barely missing that mark. And we were helping them. They were showing growth, but we had to pull that money. So if we have that money to put it back in a 5th day, let's put it back in our classrooms. Let's get those interventionists. One point we had math interventionists. We don't have those anymore. We had all those resources to help make our class sizes smaller, to help fit all those kids who needed that extra help. What happened to that? I know funding is an issue, but let's put it back into those positions, the ones that are actually reaching the students, getting into the nitty-gritty of the things that they need. We don't need professional development. I don't need a guest speaker. I know what to do. I have the tools. I have been here for 20 years. And it's very upsetting to see that we are taking away the positions that are most needed in the schools. We don't need them in the district office. We have smart people there. If we were doing our job in the classrooms or at the schools and providing all the resources that we need, we wouldn't be having these issues. 5th day, 4th day wouldn't be an issue. So let's put it back into those positions. That's what we need. Teachers are working hard. They're working hard. And as a teacher, it's hard to make appointments. We are limited now on our days off as far as we either can take a half day or a full day. We can't take 2 hours here or 2 hours there. We were given 2 choices and that's it. So if I take a day off or if I miss just the first couple hours of school, that's a half day for me. And we have a hard time finding substitutes. So if we don't have a substitute to put in that class for half a day, my kids are split. Or I have to take somebody from another position like my interventionist to come and watch my classroom until I get there. Or I just take a full day, so I'm wasting a full day now just so that I can get a substitute in the classroom, hoping they show up. And it is very hard work to plan for a substitute because we work even harder for those sub plans so that our kids are getting everything they need from that substitute in order for us to take a day off. So I stay there till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night until my custodians kick me out, just planning for substitutes. So these Fridays, I was against it originally, but it has helped as far as I don't miss a day of school now because I am able to take those appointments on Fridays, and we work longer hours now. We took those hours from Friday and our days extended now. Our days used to be shorter when it was a 5-day. I'm actually able to teach a full lesson rather than, we're out of time, 30 minutes is up, I need to move on to the next lesson, and then we'll do it on Friday or the next day. Hopefully I get through those. I'm actually able to get through lessons now because our day is a little longer and extended. So there are a lot of perks, and I wish that the staff would get a survey so we can put this stuff out there. We have been asking for it for a while, and we have not received it either. So for the parents who haven't received theirs when it was given to you back in August, you guys need to make sure you voice yourself saying that they need to reopen it and let you guys have that. And we, Mr. Watson, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Hey, I
but
love you. You're great.
We really, really need that survey as well.
Yeah,
Thank you
absolutely.
for letting me speak.
So we will get it to you. We were working on it. So can we do, so this is what I would like to do because we are at 7:23. I'd like to go here, there, and give our governing board president a chance to just wrap it up for us.
Hi. I've been contemplating if I wanted to speak or not because I'm also a staff member in this district. It was pajama day at my school, so sorry. I'm a special education teacher in this district, so to maintain as much confidentiality as I can, I don't really want to name what school I work for. But I do have a caseload of over 30 children, and that is special education, grades K through 4. I already work Fridays. Every Friday at home, I'm writing IEPs, I'm writing lesson plans. What I need to be more successful is better tier 1 interventions. And what I mean by that is we need more support staff. We need more interventionists. We need smaller class sizes. We need more time to actually plan effective instruction. An added day of instruction isn't going to help. That's another day that I have to plan for. Every week, teachers meet with their principals and we discuss data during our planning time. So we lose our planning time once every week. 2 days a week after school, we meet and we do professional development. That's more planning time that we're losing. To your point about school being a punishment, Mr. Watson, I think that the parents meant that it would be a punishment because their kids would miss out on sporting events. Their kids would miss out on family time, not that the school building is a punishment. Teachers are also not given autonomy, so we cannot do creative lessons with our students at school. We don't get to do project-based learning. We don't get to take students outside and do a lesson outside. We have very strict curriculum that we have to follow, and we have to stay on a specific timeline. Another day is not going to help me. I don't think it's going to help your students. That's just my opinion.
Thank you.
Okay. As what she mentioned back there, the teachers deserve only 4 days. Back to what I was mentioning earlier, I've been volunteering for the last month at both schools, elementary and the middle school. I go to all the mothers program, to the cafecitos, to all the speakers that you guys provide for the parents. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of people that show up. I hear a lot of people, I saw a lot of people here show up, a lot of complaints, a lot of unhappy, but we don't see them there. They're not getting informed. There is a lot of resources that you guys find for everybody, but nobody takes them. There's a lot of classes. Nobody takes, yeah, they're not going to know if they don't show up to the meetings. Number one parent is us, or teacher is the parents for the students. You guys are teachers. All you do is teach criteria, material, whatever it is. What I wanted to ask you was, is there any way that they can keep their 4 days and provide some kind of courses as for like parents to better educate themselves on how to teach or continue teaching whatever the teacher left on? Because it's not the teacher's responsibility to raise our child until they go all the way to university. We need to stop blaming like the teacher this, the teacher that. She didn't tell my son. You have to teach your son how to speak up. You have to tell your son how to, or teach him how to communicate to the teacher. The teacher is not gonna know. So I feel like it's better if we have workshops for parents. I know that there's workshops that they do here. I just found out about them through one of the PEC parents who I also just met. And like I said, I've only been doing this for a month. So when I ask who's the PEC parent, it's kind of like taboo to ask who the PEC parent is, who the secretary is. I've noticed that a lot of women go, but they're like excluded from it. They're not like offered all the resources and benefits that everybody gets. So I don't mind saying the names because, you know, it is what it is. We're just all one. I go to Estrella from Sonali and Nettie. I get, you know, to the T, to the bone. But as for PAC parents, her I just met today. The other PAC parent, she's there every single day, daily. And when I asked for the information, it was like, you know, back in, it was taboo. I can't tell you the name. It's that. How am I supposed to get across or through to wherever I need to get? Or let's say, for example, a lot of parents ask me in Spanish. You know, they're Spanish speakers. ¿Quién es la encargada de esto? ¿Dónde puedo ir a encontrar lo otro? ¿Dónde me pueden ayudar para la comida, para esto, para una clase? Mi niño más grande se salió del high school. Getting him back into GED at least, that's fine. Did you know that you can have a GED and a high school both together? If your son doesn't want to do the 5 days, that's cool. Have your GED, but at least have that backbone to fall back on for whatever reason. If you want to go ahead and do it later, like, do it later. Take a break, you know, take your mental break. It's overwhelming, that's fine. But at least try and guide them to have one or the other. And I feel like that parents, we don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that it's legal to have GED and high school. It's okay to have a GED and do a trade school after high school. There's just different ways to do it. Personally, I dropped out 3 times. Me. Dropped out 3 times, got my GED, single mom, teen mom, went back to school. I kept, you know, digging and trying to like get some information. And, you know, unfortunately I'm from California, but Cartwright is the only place I found that. I was able to get the GED done, go back to school, start improving slowly but surely as I'm taking all my kids to school. The morning rush is horrible. We all go through it. All the moms go through it. If you're a single dad, hey, shout out to you. Thank you. It's hard getting them all in the car. One of them doesn't want to put their shoe on. You put them all on and the other one takes off the sock and throws the shoe over out the window. Whatever the situation is, it's embarrassing. It is. But we still got to get the wagon going. So I feel that some parents do have to take responsibility. We do. We need to let the teachers be teachers for those 4 days, because that's what they're signed up to do. That's their job. And it's only to teach the criteria, the material. That's it. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's up to the parent. Monday through Thursday, maybe like some workshops after school for parents to get educated, because the kids are not the ones who are later going to, you know, take you out of the struggle. And I've heard a lot of comments for the moms that are like, no, I want this, I want that. A lot of us parents just want everything easy and then we want it free and we want to just come grab and go. But sometimes we have to sit there and do it, because if our child doesn't see us do it, they're not going to do it.
Can I tell you one thing?
Yeah.
The cafecitos,
Mhm.
I think they need to change a little bit, you know, because when I go over there, that's why I quit going. Everything is in the Spanish language. Everything is leaning toward that. It's leaning toward, you know, English classes and all that. I mean, I don't need them, and I don't want to come and sit there for a half hour that I've lost in the daytime or something just for that.
And I did
So they
mention
need
that
to
too.
change to get curriculum and get parental participation, but you need to get some meat in it, not just, you know.
I mentioned that to the principal today. The cafecitos are cool, right? Yeah. But we're not there to gossip, to chat, to, you know, it's the same thing every single day. We're not actually benefiting from them. We're not. And I will tell you that it's more chisme. It's more, however you want to put it. It's just gossip. And the kids are not. A
Disculpa,
lot of
pero
the-
en nuestra escuela no es así. Tenemos 2 idiomas en el cafecito y vamos a informarnos. Pero siempre somos las mismas mamás, entonces claro que nos conocemos y hablamos.
Pues sí.
Entonces, pero somos de verdad 10 mamás. Las
Just
que
to let you know
hacemos.
that the one that was really good was when the principal came up and talked to us.
So she just wanted everybody to know that at her cafecito, it doesn't happen like that. They do have classes and they do get trained. They don't just go to gossip.
Yeah.
It's done differently, it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's just, it was nice when the principal was talking there because she was able to tell us that now, see, the children's rate for the state test, it's way up here now. It used to be down here, but they brought it way up here now. And so she told us, you need to get these children to read books after school and do reading and all that, read, study it and all, so they can get better and better. And that's the whole problem that maybe a lot of the parents don't understand, that it's not just the learning to pass is way up here now. It used to be down here, but it's way up here. So how are our children gonna pass if they don't go to school on the 5th day? If they don't learn, how are they gonna pass? That's the thing. And not only that, as far as the budget, every other block I see another school. What do you call those schools? Charter schools. Every other block you see a charter school. And do you know that all those students at the charter school, those teachers and everything, and that principal or whatever the school is, they get more per child than our schools. And our children are leaving those schools to go to those charter schools, and they're the ones making the money. And our schools are going down.
And they return on February because they are kicked out of the charter schools. They return to public schools, believe me. Yes, and they are lower.
Frequently they do.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you gotta think about.
So I think that it's really important for the, whoever is volunteering or the parents, for them to get the proper
I know.
Orientation or.
it's more of a hands-on like computer skills. Somebody has to train him to like help out or the line, this,
Help
that.
our
Little
children.
help goes a long way.
I'm going to thank you, everybody, for being here and participating. I'm going to hand the microphone to our governing board president to just wrap us up.
Thank you. I'm thankful and grateful for the opportunity for everybody to be here, take the time out, because our meetings go sometimes way beyond this, but it's really good information. We've been talking about how to expand and how to develop the parental component, because way beyond just the cafecitos, but the level of conversation that takes place within that, it's gonna take some resources. And going back, and the teacher's no longer here, but everybody, when we talk about the funding, I would invite everybody to just go back and review some of those meetings, the last maybe 3 or 4 meetings that we've had, because we've broken down exactly where that money and how it was spent.
Where do we find those?
It's on YouTube. It's Cartwright Elementary School District. CSD83.org. Because it answers all that. I want everybody here to leave with the understanding that we're trying to do the best that we can to make sure. We're certainly doing things differently. And it goes with the time. Our situations change, the needs of our kids change, so we've got to be growing with that. And there are things that we were doing a few years ago that we need to do now. And we were spending a certain way that we've got to spend differently now as we're having this discussion. I'm sure a few years back, they weren't going to be looking in the future saying, oh, by the way, let's make sure we don't spend that money because they're going to be asking, for such thing to happen. There is a way to make this happen. And I invite everybody to work with us. We can't do it alone. We need that support system. We need your engagement. Your questions are welcome. We're not going to be, at least from me, you're going to hear it. You're not, if there's one thing that I am, when you ask me, I may say too much because I'm going to be very honest. I'm not going to paint a pretty picture if it's not pretty. But we have to address the issues that we come, because we've got to show some results. The teacher that left, I just wanted to say, and she's here. a lot of, the funding, as I explained earlier, and I hate giving my back, I hope nobody's here that I'm giving my back to. But the funding, as I mentioned, it was a challenge. Doesn't mean it can't be done, because I'm the one that keeps saying we're gonna have to divvy and do things differently, right? To make sure that we divide the resources differently. However, what makes it challenging is that decisions have been made. I just came into this position, and there are two-year contracts all over the place that tie my hands. I'm stuck. That means I can't do anything with that money. And it was during a time where a lot of positions were created and folks have been promised, and it's a contract. I can't undo a contract. So my hands are tied, our hands are tied to a certain extent heavily. So we're willing to make the changes in streamlining. If there's any talk about any changes, it's for a due reason. Somebody I heard the other day say, "Oh, you don't like so and so." No, it's not that I don't like that. At the end of the day, the reality is I've got to like her more, the student here, because we got to make sure that we're delivering. So I'm still not saying that we're not going to do it. It's not impossible. I'm just saying it's hard. But we're doing that due diligence, and that's what takes time. And what it took us 6 months of trying to pass votes, arguing whether this was really happening or not, because there were members in our community that said, "No, that didn't happen. It's a lie. It's a lie," and spending so much time on that chisme versus the policy, the vote. Why do we have to vote on policy? Because that's what makes the decisions, so that the team is able to expend if it takes resources. Curriculum alignment in all different sites. And I'm only mentioning one. There's like so many factors that we've discussed over the last 6 months, but know that we're arriving there. And that's what it's taking. That's why we're here having this other conversation. But we're committed. We're committed to hearing everybody out. I hope that I engage you enough to come to our meetings, ask those questions, give me a call. For those that want my number, it's 602. You don't have it, Jesse? You know where to find me. You go to my house and throw rocks. I'm joking. 602-463-9900. This is my cell, but don't call. It's ringing. Don't call me. Text me, because my voicemail has been full for 5 years, and I let it, because I rather would have a text that I know that at the end of midnight I'm going through them and I'm reading through every one of them. But I'll get back with you. If there's something I don't know, because I'm not the expert in everything, but I'm gonna tell you that I know enough, that I know the changes that need to take place to make us successful. We've done it before. We've turned the district around. So that's with the best of intentions.
My last question, I'm sorry, you're going to hate me, but how do the previous board members and the superintendent spend the money? Do you have an idea?
Yes, we do. That is a meeting that took place. We repeated, in fact, that maybe 3 meetings. I'd be glad to give you the dates, because it is lengthy. And for me to go into it, but it breaks it down into everything. I mean, remember, you have to keep in mind that the money, the bond, there's different pockets of money. We have our budget. That is how many? How big is our budget?
We'll say
Because
$140 million.
I have to say, because it's always been more in the past, because we had more kids, but we're losing kids. So when we lose 700, that's a big chunk of money out of our budget that we can no longer. People are saying, "Why can't you just do it?" We can't. The money's gone. Now, we did have the SR funding. We did have COVID monies. And that was, I'd like to say it was 117, but I think it was like 114 million, aside from our regular budget, right? Of 149 million. And then we have, what else did we have? We had something else. Well, we have all that in the budget. There was one more. The bond. We had bond override money. Everybody here that owns property, that buys and we pay taxes. You're what I refer to you as our stakeholders. You're our community members. Because based on how we're gonna spend this money, this is your money. And every time we spend it, I mean, there is a formula, but we as districts like to say, it's not gonna make a difference. But you know what? It is gonna make a small difference in how much taxes you pay for your house, for your property. And I was not willing to ask our community for another bond override. We just spent $67 million. Aside from the $114 million in SR funding, aside from our regular budget. You put that all together, there's a couple of hundred, if not more, $1 million that were spent. So forgive me if I'm belaboring this, I'm gonna stress this. So the last 3 months, we've repeated how that was spent. So somebody tells you, where'd the money go? You took it, it's gone, you're stealing. Mr. Watson, you're taking it. That's noise, guys. The focus, it's political, unfortunately. When it comes to discussing money, it gets political. Come to the meetings, we will be glad to give you a report. I'd be willing to even host and reviewing something to answer questions. I want my community to be informed and engaged. If you hear otherwise, you can give me a text. Just no threats, okay? Because I've gotten plenty of those. For the wrong reasons. But thank you all for being here, Mr. Watson.
Hey, queremos agradecerles a todos por estar aquí con nosotros. Thanks everybody for being here. We really are trying to do the best for kids, and we know you are too. That's why you're here. So thank you.
Thank you. We'll let you guys go.
I know. The second night in a row that I am having